awesome adventure, and I cannot wait to get started, you guys. Today, we're going to talk about one of the most fundamental parts of scouting. The reason why we have the outing in scouting, we're going to talk about the great old outdoors and what it means to go out and have fun. Are you ready, Mr. Kenny?
Absolutely, Rocket. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thanks for being here. It's going to be amazing. We got a great show for you guys today. Talking you guys putting in the outing and scouting. I'm with you. So first off, guys, I'll do our pledge today. Since I have my uniform on, and I'll serve as our flag. So remember, if you have on your uniform, salute. Otherwise, hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Great job, guys. Hey, Rocky, could you mind doing our oath and law, please?
Absolutely. All right, you guys. Remember, when we do our Scout Oath and Law, we take our two fingers and stick them straight up in the air. Are we ready? I know I am. Are you ready, Mr. Kenny?
Absolutely, Rocky. Go right ahead.
All right, guys. Let's begin. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duties to God and my country and to obey the Scout Law, to help other people at all times, and to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. Let's do our Scout Law. A Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. 2. Hey, Mr. Kenny, what is our Scout motto?
Oh, my goodness. Do your best.
Do your best. We're going to do our best today like we do every day. All right, Mr. Kenny, you're going to get us started?
Absolutely, Rocket, and I can't wait, guys. Today, guys, we're going to talk about camping and backpacking, the outing and scouting. So, you know, for many of our outdoor activities, scouting uses this thing called the buddy system. Now, what the buddy does is ensure everyone's safety. You and a buddy can watch out for each other during a camp out by checking in on each other, make sure everything is all right. Scouts never swim alone, so each scout stays close to your buddy who also knows where he is or what he or she is doing. Also, buddy helps when we go hiking as well to help each other stay alert for safety. Your buddy can watch out for you while you keep on track. Also, did you know it's a requirement when you become a tenderfoot in scouting as you move up from Cub Scouts to Boy Scouts. The buddy system is not just used in scouting as well. It's used in firefighting, the U.S. Armed Forces, as well as the British Armed Forces, okay? As well as scuba diving, yes. It's called buddy diving. Each other is referred to as a dive buddy. So the buddy system's all around us, guys. So it's very important. So that's why in scouting, you want to make sure we're having fun, but we're always safe. You understand, guys? Okay? Now, so what happens if you and your buddy are out on the path, and what should you do if you get lost? Does anyone know? You got an idea, Rocky? What do you think you should do?
I'm not entirely sure. Should we climb up a tree and hope to see the rest of our group?
I don't think that. What we should do is call stop. So what stop means is stop so you can realize if you're maybe lost, you want to make sure that you stay calm. The T stands for you got to think. You got to use our head. So your mind will go all over if you're not calm, okay? Then you want to do the O means observe. So you want to find out, check your compass, and determine which direction are you coming from and where you're sitting at. Also, you want to use your map so you can find out were there any landmarks that you can identify. Last but not least is to call it the P. That's when you plan. So based on your thinking, your observation, come up with possible plans so you can act on them. And you want to do that while you're calm. You have your water, as well as maybe a little snack to keep you calm. Because if your mind starts to rush and things, your mind can go all over the place. But if you're not calm, you don't have a plan, you won't be able to execute that plan if you're not thinking clearly. Okay, guys? So make sure that we have a buddy, and we watch out for each other, as well as we use the stop method. So we stop, we think, we observe, then we plan. Back to you, Rocket.
That was awesome, you guys. Whew, I'm glad that we learned that. That is one of the most important things we need to learn before we decide to go anywhere. Now, now that we've decided that we're going to go somewhere, we're going to go on a camping trip or a hiking trip, and we know the buddy method, we know the stop method, now we got to pack for it, right? So let's start our packing list by doing the 6 scouting essentials. I'm going to say it one more time. We need our 6 scouting essentials. Now you're probably wondering, what are the 6 scouting essentials? Well, one of them is the one that you are told every year to bring to summer camp, whether it's day camp or resident camp. Ye old agua, the water, the love of our lives, the water. We need a water. If it's not water, it's a filled water bottle. So it doesn't have to be a little one. It shouldn't be a little one like this one. But you should always have a filled water bottle at the ready and multiple water bottles, because if you're drinking it over and over again, you're eventually going to run out. Now, we talked about things we could do if we get lost. Another thing you can do if you get lost is have a whistle, which is another one of our 6 scouting essentials. What am I going to do with a whistle, Miss Raquel? Well, did you know that if you're in the outdoors and you're camping and you blow your whistles 3 times back to back, to someone else, that means, hey, someone's in trouble. So they know that there's someone out there, whether it's in the woods or on a hiking trail, that needs help. So that's why a whistle is one of our essentials. Now, my whistle is just a little bit special because I have a compass on mine.
That's cool, Rocket.
Now, you guys, other than a whistle, we need what? A first aid kit. Don't we say this all the time in emergency preparedness? If anyone remembers, we say we need a first aid kit. And whether it's a little one like this or a big one like, a case one, you still need it regardless. Now, what if it's really, really hot outside and the sun is blazing? Can anyone guess what's one thing we definitely need when the sun is out and it's blazing hot? Mr. Kenny, do you think you know?
Sunblock?
That's right, you guys. Sunblock or some type of sun protection, whether it's sunscreen like what I have here, my special sunscreen, or if it's sunglasses, a sun hat, or even long sleeve protective clothing to keep you from getting sunburned. The last thing we want while we're out on the hike is us to get burned by the sun. That wouldn't feel too great. Sunburn can go up to 2nd or even 3rd degree burns depending on how long you sit out in the sun, and no one wants to get burned because getting burned is not fun at all. Okay?
No, it's not.
Let's do a quick review. We have our water bottle, our whistle, our first aid kit, our sunblock. Now that's 4 things. Let's take another thing. Mr. Kenny actually, he mentioned this before. We want to have some trail food or some little snackums to keep us calm, or some snackums to keep our stomachs full while we're out and about. Now, I would have more snackums for the trip, but goldfish are my favorite.
I got Chex Mix.
Chex Mix. Oh man, I love me some Chex Mix. Now, guys, remember, your trail food or your trail snacks should not be a Pop-Tart, shouldn't be a fruit by the foot. It shouldn't be, a chocolate bar. It needs to be something healthy, something that'll keep you hydrated. All that sugar and fats and stuff that are in those products can make you tired faster, which can, help increase the risk of dehydration. And which, if you get dehydrated while on a trip, that's not good. That's not good at all. Now, last but not least, you guys, the last thing you need is a flashlight. And not just any flashlight, a regular flashlight. You may not have your phone with you, but since I have mine, I use mine as an example. You need a regular flashlight, a flashlight that you can use with extra batteries, because a scout is prepared. Isn't that one of our scout slogans, be prepared? Yup, we gotta be prepared. So let's review, guys. Water bottle, whistle, first aid kit, sun protection, trail food, and flashlight. Those are your 6 scouting essentials. Those are the 6 things that you guys need when you go out. Yeah, if you're going on a camping trip, you need clothes. Yeah, you may need a poncho. And you definitely, if you're going on a backpacking trip, you need the backpack.
Nice backpack, Rocket.
Thanks. My mom got it for me. Now, you may need all of those extra things, but you need those 6 scouting essentials. Those are so important. Now, you're probably wondering, well, how do I know exactly how much of what to bring? You'll know if your backpack is too heavy, if the weight of your backpack, if you're doing like an overnight backpacking trip or a day trip, it should not exceed 20% of your body weight. Okay, so if you weigh a certain amount, you can do the math at home, go on your phone or your calculator and see how much weight you should carry. And you don't want it to be too light because then that might mean you're missing something. If it's overnight, no more than 20%. If it's only for the day, only 10%. Don't want to have too much. You don't want to have too little, but whatever you have, you want to make sure it is just enough. Make sense, you guys?
Good job, Rocky. Absolutely. So, just to make clarity, so if I weigh 100 pounds, that means my backpack should not be more than 20 pounds from going overnight, correct?
Exactly.
And if I weigh that same 100 pounds, if I'm only going on a day trip, it shouldn't weigh more than 10 pounds, correct?
Yep, exactly. You never want to carry too much. You could hurt yourself. You could get sick from carrying all that stuff. It also helps with dehydration. Funny story time. Are you ready, Mr. Kenny, for an interesting story time?
Yes.
Well, you guys, so when I was young, flashback, when I was younger, I was a Sea Scout as well. And with my Sea Scout unit, we went on the Gettysburg Trail, which was one of my favorite hikes. It was about a 25-mile hike, but me and my group did it. Now, while we were on the trip, I noticed a young boy. He was a Cub Scout who looked like he was struggling really hard to go up a hill because of his backpack. He almost fell over. He looked like he was so tired. And I felt so bad for him. But let's just say that was a bit of a learning curve for him and his leader. He had way too much weight on him. And we thought he wasn't going to make it. We thought he was going to pass out and not make it through the rest of the trail. But luckily, his leader was paying attention and noticed how much he struggled and took some things out of his backpack. And he was all right and made it through the rest of the trail. So that should teach you guys that even on the most basic of hiking trips, you must be prepared and you must pack correctly. Because even though we're not staying overnight, what you carry throughout the day could harm you too. Now, guys, since we've known what to do before the trip, we know what to pack to go on the trip, we have a couple more rules that we need you guys to learn before we go on a little camping trip. These are what we call the Leave No Trace principles. And we have our special friends at the Leave No Trace Center for Outdoor Adventures who are going to teach us the 7 Leave No Trace principles. Are you ready, guys?
Hi, everyone. Subaru Leave No Trace traveling trainer Caitlin Sutterheim here to teach you a fun and interactive way to both learn, remember, and teach our 7 Leave No Trace principles. Now feel free to follow along. Principle number 1, know before you go. Principle number 2, choose the right path. Principle number 3, trash your trash. Now we're going to pretend our fingers are a trowel to dig a cat hole. Principle number 4, leave what you find. This includes wildflowers and cool things like antlers. So leave what you find. Principle number 5, be careful with fire. Principle number 6, respect wildlife. And this is how we do our rule of thumb to make sure we're a safe distance from wild animals. Principle number 7, be kind to others with a peace sign and a high five. Well, hope that helps you out, and we'll see you on the trail.
Whew. Wasn't that awesome, you guys? Let's do it.
That was great.
It was great. Remember, you should always know before you go. You never know what could happen. The weather could change. It could get dangerous outside. And the last thing you want to do is to get caught in bad weather. You want to be careful with fire. You want to trash your trash. You want to respect the wildlife. You want to make sure that you follow the right path. Because like we said, even though we know what to do when we get lost, Mr. Kenny, do we really want to get lost?
No, you do not, Rocky, but definitely, yes, with the pledge. So you want to make that promise to know before you go, choose your right path, trash your trash, be careful with fire, respect wildlife, and be kind to other visitors. That
Yep.
also brings us to our outdoor code. So we know, as an American, I will do my best to be clean in my outdoor manners, be careful of fire, be considerate in the outdoors, and be conservation minded. So when we do that pledge, guys, the outdoor code, we want to make sure that we're mindful of our surroundings. We want to treat it as we would like to be treated before. You don't want to leave any trash around. If it's something's there we don't know about, we want to make sure you have your adult leaders with you to identify certain things you have a question about it, and some things that need to be left alone. Okay?
That's right, you guys. And I see that we had a really great question. What if we find glass? Do we leave it? Now, guys, because we're going to be conservation minded and we want to preserve and conserve the world around us, if you see something like trash or something lying around, if you have a spare trash bag that you are carrying with you on your trip, definitely you can talk to your leader. Hey, I see trash. You can pick it up, put them in your trash bag carefully now, because it is glass and glass can cut you. And you can throw it away into the nearest trash can when you find them. So yes, leave no trace. Leave what you find. Get your adult leader. Let them know that there's trash everywhere. And even if you guys want to do a bit of community service like we talked about during our Hero Day, you can definitely do what we call a trail, where you and your fellow scouts can, form a line and pick up any trash you see. It helps the world, and the earth will definitely thank you for it. Now, guys.
Excellent. Good job, Rocket. Also, while you're on the trail, you and your friends or your other fellow scouters can also do some type of scavenger hunt. And you can look for things such as soda cans, juice boxes, water bottles, candy wrappers, paper, plastic forks, fast food wrappers, straw wrappers. But anything bigger than your hand or strange to you, always get a leader. And make sure you have your gloves as well. So those are certain things that you can do while you're out on a camping trip. So to make sure that everyone is still safe and we're not bothering the Mother Nature and her environment.
All right, you guys. So let's break down what we learned a little bit. We learned about the buddy method. We learned about the stop method. So we know what to do when we get lost, and we should never get lost on our own because we're with our buddies. We learned about how important it is to pack your backpack correctly. Remember, do not carry no more than 20% of your body weight. We also learned about the leave no trace principles as well. Now, let's learn some knots that we may need while we are out. Now, all you need to learn some knot tying is either some paracord, which paracord becomes handy. I'll tell you why later. Either some paracord, your shoelaces, or any type of string or yarn to practice your knots, because knots are important. So one of the knots that I'm going to teach you guys how to do properly is called the square knot, okay? So what you want to do with the square knot is, I'm going to do this from my perspective. So if I say left or right, remember, it's your left or right, not my left or right, okay? So I'm going to take my right hand, so my right side, and put it over top of my left side. So that means your right over your left, okay? If you want to do this at home, not to get confused. Then you want to take, and go under. So do an overhand. The next thing you want to do is take what is my right, and put it over my left. You do under, okay? And you pull through. Now, if you do it that way, you won't end up with a square knot. You'll end up with a little bit of a jumbled mess. So remember, it's right over left and left over right. So since I did right over left, you take your left side, put it over what's your right side, pull through, pull tight. And if you can see, Mr. Kenny, can you see that?
Good job, Rocky. Yes.
Now, you'll know if you did it right, because if I push, it comes right out. Now, the square knot. Now, we use this knot to combine two different types of ropes together. So say I have one rope and another rope, I want to combine them together. The best way to tie them together without them coming loose, square knot. Make sense? All right, guys, I'm going to teach you guys how to do 2 half hitches. Now, a couple things to know before we do the half hitches, okay? First thing you want to do is make a loop with your rope. Whatever you have to use, whether it's rope, paracord, use your rope. Now, we call this a bite. You're probably wondering, why do we call it a bite? Simple. If you turn it to the side, think about Pac-Man and bite, bite. And that's why some of us call it a bite. Now, when it also comes to tying knots, you have a working end and a standing end. In this case, my left side is my working end, which is the end where I'm going to be doing all of my work with. And the other side is my standing end. This side I'm not going to be doing too much with. It just stands there, literally. So when you're doing an overhand knot, sorry, not overhand, when you're doing a 2 half hitches, you take your working end and you wrap it around and put it inside your loop, okay? And you pull. That's 1 half. That's 1 hitch. This is what we call a hitch, okay? Then, half hitch, I can't. So then you're gonna do it one more time. Go through the loop. Sorry. You're gonna do it one more time. You're gonna go underneath it though, and go through the loop. Woo, losing my footing here. And you wanna pull, okay? Now, this is gonna take some adjusting because this knot is a little bit more difficult. So you may mess up a couple times until you get it right. So after some adjusting, you should be able to pull it to make it tight and pull it out to make it loose. If you did it right, you should be able to hook yourself and pull. And bam, you have yourself 2 half hitches in which we can use this knot to string up bear bags. Mr. Kenny, do you know what a bear bag is?
Oh, yes, Rocket. So that's what we use at camp, ladies and gentlemen. We put all of our goodies into a sack. We maybe take our neckerchiefs off and put all our goodies inside of a neckerchief and tie it to a tree and then toss it over the tree, over to a branch to pull it all the way up so that it's out of the bear's reach, correct?
That's right. Any critters, any rodents that's out there in the woods that could be camping with us, because remember, we're in their home. They're not in our home. We're bunking with them. They're not bunking with us. So to keep them out of our food, what we want to do is to string up our food to keep, critters out of it. Don't ever leave food lying around. Remember, leave no trace.
No food in the tent.
Oh, and no food in the tents. No food in the tents. I know it's tempting, but just no food in the tents. All right, guys. Now I'm going to tell you why it is important to have paracord with you when you go on any type of hiking or camping trip. Ms. Kennedy, you got your paracord?
Absolutely right. I got my paracord right here. I went to some other essentials as well, guys. So, you got my stuff all laid out. Here's my paracord, Rocket.
Ooh, that's a lot of paracord.
Yeah, with my sleeping bag and that book. Yeah. So as you know, as adults, we want to make sure we're prepared. So sometimes you may hear extra things, such as our first aid kit, our poncho, extra shirt in case something gets wet. Yeah, and our sleeping bag in case we need to stay over, and a good trusty flashlight.
That's awesome. Now, notice how me and Mr. Kenny have paracord. Paracord can become so important while we are out. The reason why is paracord can be used for many things. Not only, stringing things together, it can be used to help pitch a makeshift tent, which you can do by using a tarp or some sticks. You can also use the lining on the inside of our paracord. So do you guys see these little white strings? You can use these little white strings. Believe it or not, you can use these little white strings to do a makeshift fishing pole. If you have an extra hook, or say if you have extra food lying around and you want to do some makeshift fishing, all you need is the lining of the paracord, a stick, some bait, and bam, you are fly fishing. Now that's what we call thrifty. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Kenny?
Absolutely. Scout is thrifty.
Now, guys, it may look like a lot to carry a whole spool of paracord around, but I have a really cool way that you can tie your paracord together so that you can use as much as you need when you're ready. I call this our Paracord Keychains. So what you need is just a keychain, some paracord to go as your base, and then some paracord that you're actually going to tie, okay? So, If you're wondering what the word thrifty means, I see your question. Thrifty is another way of saying resourceful, meaning you can use what you have to make the best of your situation. So if I only have, chips and crackers, even though I want something else, I make do with what I have. Or if I don't have as much money to, go to the store and buy a whole bunch of stuff, I can use what I got and make do with what I have, okay? So what you want to do is you want to put your paracord onto your keychain, okay? Pretty much by doing a basic, I call it another overhand knot, okay? So what you do is, this one is another right over left, left over right, okay? So what you're gonna do, I'm gonna flip it around so you guys can see, is you're gonna take whichever side, whether it's your left or your right, you're gonna put it over your base, okay? See that? It goes over the base. You take your other string, you take your other side, lay it over top of what you just placed down, okay? Now, what you're gonna do is you're gonna go behind. So it's almost like doing a square knot with some extra steps. Go behind, then you're gonna pull tight, okay? And that's the first one. Now, because we see this here, that means we're gonna do the same. We're gonna start on this side next, if you want it to go straight. If you want it to curl out, you'll do it on the opposite sides, okay? So we're gonna do it again, but on the other side. Take your string, lay it on your base, take the other side, lay it over top of your laid string. Then you go behind, pull through, and pull tight, okay? Now, you keep going till you either fill up the whole base or run out of strings on the side. And with that, that's how you can carry your paracord along without having to carry an entire spool, which can be a little bit tedious sometimes. Well, you guys, that was a lot to show you guys today. Now, I know that you guys may want to learn about more knots, but if you look into your program guides, you really have a whole list of knots that you can learn on there. So definitely check out your program guides to see more knots that you can learn at home. It would be great to see you guys do some knots and even post pictures of your knots on the council Facebook page. Remember, hashtag all knots, okay? All right.
Wow.
Don't you think today was good?
Excellent, Rocket. Thank you. We learned a lot about the outdoor code, how to leave no trace, the buddy system, how to tie knots. Man, what a day, what a week. And we learned how to pack our backpacks. So guess what tomorrow is, Rocket?
Is tomorrow the one and the only Facebook Friday?
Facebook Live Friday!
Facebook Live Friday!
Ooh.
Facebook Friday, it is tomorrow. And guys, we must mention today is our last official online adventure for our spring session. I know, my heart hurts too, but do not fear. Tomorrow during Facebook Friday, we have an awesome surprise for you guys. Make sure that you are here tomorrow on Facebook on the COL BSA Facebook page. Okay, and if you're not sure what it is the Cradle of Liberty Council's Boy Scout Facebook page. Make sure you're there so that you guys can know what we have in store as your surprise. Are you ready for our Scout benediction?
Absolutely, Rocket. Yes, guys, be there. We'll recap what we did for this week and also all our online sessions, and we'll continue on the online sessions in July. So make sure you have more information about that as well. So if we're all ready, signs up. May the greatest Scoutmaster.
May the greatest Scoutmaster
Of all Scouts.
Of all Scouts.
Be with us.
Be with us.
Until we meet again.
Until we meet again.
Back dismissed, guys.
Back dismissed, you guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow.